Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Football Betting Podcast. I'm your host, Tom Pipkin, and I'm joined as ever by my co-host, Tom Walker.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the show. Tom, it looks like you still haven't addressed the background issue. You've just gone with a plain door again.
I've had a full week to sort it out, and I've literally not done anything.
That's okay, mate. It's Christmas. Lots of stuff going on. Apologies to any audio listeners. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for tuning in. We are in the second week of doing our video pod. So just a little bit of visual banter for you, but I'm sure.
And you've gone for the Venice kit?
Venezia. I've been a fan my whole life since 2019, I think. So fully jumping on the bandwagon. And even though it looks like you've gone for a George Bayazda black T-shirt, I think that's the Dortmund blackout, is it not?
It is.
Nice.
I still think you're going to win the kit poll on Twitter again this week.
I would be disappointed if I lose a single one of them. But yeah, I managed to get the win last week. At least I won something because my treble didn't win, unfortunately, and neither did yours. Mine actually went down to a double and unfortunately still didn't win.
No, yeah, nor did mine. So we'll cover those later on in the show. As ever, this podcast is sponsored by our good friends at Matchbook, and they have improved their sign-up offer for us as well, which is fantastic. So you can now get a £20 money back as cash if you sign up to Matchbook using the sign-up code TFB Podcast. Place a bet on a single at odds of over 1.8, and if that bet is £20 and it loses, and then you get your £20 back. So you can risk-free try Matchbook at matchbook.com. Well worth checking out.
100%. Yeah. Lovely to see that they've increased the value of that welcome offer, and we thank them for their support of the show. Tom, I think it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag by the time the podcast is released. We're currently losing games left, right, and centre. We can only go off what's in front of us at the moment. And obviously, most of the Premier League looks like it's going to survive Boxing Day. But the lower you go down, it seems like the more games are getting called off. So I suppose we just got to work with what we've got right now and hope it's in date by the time the pod's released.
Yeah, so this is Wednesday evening. We're recording on the 22nd. So, yeah, as Tom says, we'll do what we can. We'll cover the games we've got. Hopefully, the games we pick for our trebles in particular won't get called off. But we'll see what happens. But we'll start with the Prem. Then we'll move into the Champ, League One, League Two like normal. Premier League, though, as you mentioned, nothing called off, I believe, as of right now.
No, nothing at the moment. Touch wood.
Touch wood, touch all the wood. So
you can touch the door. You can touch the door behind you if you want.
On the table that I'm sat at. Okay, right. So Liverpool against Leeds kicks us off in the Prem. 1.16 are the odds for Liverpool, 9.6 for the draw, and 22.0 for Leeds. You can understand why the odds are what they are. You'd think Liverpool should get a comfortable win here. No losses in 9 consecutive games. At the time of recording, Leeds no wins in the last 4. And we've seen they've struggled in recent weeks as well, haven't we? 4-1 loss last time out against Arsenal, 7-0 before that to City, 3-2 to Chelsea, again before that. So they're shipping a lot of goals at the moment. And I think if you're shipping a lot of goals, Liverpool away is not a place you want to be visiting.
Yeah, last week I mentioned they hadn't beaten any of the top 7. And obviously with the Arsenal result coming in, that is still well and truly alive. Yeah, they're absolutely miles off it. As I mentioned in the Arsenal game as well, obviously it's going to be different being away from home, but early goal goes in for Liverpool. I think the fans, a certain section of the fans are starting to get a bit restless with what they're seeing. Maybe it will be the case again, and it could end up being 3-4-5. This one,
yeah,
very comfortable win for Liverpool.
Yeah, I like on Matchbook any other home win priced at 2.42. So again, we mentioned this last week, but any other home win on Matchbook kind of covers Liverpool to score 4 and beyond. So if Liverpool win 3-1, 3-2, 2-1, 2-0, whatever, the bet won't win. But if they do win 4-0, 4-1, 5-0, 5-1, etc., then the bet will win. So anything 4-0 and better for Liverpool basically gets that one in. So up next, we've got Wolves against Watford. Wolves are priced at 1.89. The draw's 3.6 and Watford are 4.8. Do you like either of these two sides in particular to get the win?
Yeah, I've got lots of Wolves tips here. I'm calling this, Tom. I'm calling this the under the radar derby. I think Wolves are under the radar good and are doing really well. And I think Watford are under the radar bad for me. I'm happy to take Wolves on the nose, 1.89. I also think you'll be able to get Wolves and under 2.5. That's priced at a massive 4.2 with our partners at Matchbook. Yeah, Watford under the radar, really. They've lost every game since they beat Man U and obviously cost Ole his job. That's 4 in a row and 5 of the last 6. They do seem to be able to score, credit to them, but they're conceding an absolute hatful. And Wolves are watertight, Tom. They've got a better defensive record than Liverpool and the 3rd best overall in the Premier League this season. Man City first and Chelsea second, with Wolves tucked in nicely behind them. Wolves 3 points off a European spot, although when I was doing my research, I realised I don't really know where you have to finish to get a Conference League position. So I base that on the Europa League. Maybe they're in a Conference League spot right now. Not sure. Anyway, they're 3 points off the top 6. That's a good way of putting it. And yeah, again, to reiterate, kind of going under the radar after a sticky start. I feel like this season in particular, people that, are on Twitter, do podcasts, whatever you want to call our kind of people, feel like a lot of people are hanging on the way that teams have started. And I feel like Wolves are getting tarnished with this kind of, they're not that good because they had a tough start. That was ages ago, and now they're doing really well. So, yeah, I'm happy to take the old gold here.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Burnley Everton then, up next. 2.56 for Burnley, 3.25 for the draw, and 3.25 again for Everton. Oh, God, this one's a bit of a pig of a game for me anyway. Burnley, no wins in 5, not scored in 3 consecutive games. Everton, 1 win in 11. So you've got two sides who are really in no sort of form whatsoever here. Both very untrustworthy if you're going for anything on the nose. Word on the street, Calvert-Lewin might be back for Everton in this game as well. But for me, no bet.
All I want for Christmas, Tom, are 2 pins so I can stick it in my eyes when this game comes on. Under 2.5, 1.65. So it's a bit of a tight price, but I completely understand why. And I've got some stats that I've researched to read out to kind of back that up. Everton, joint 4th lowest scorers away from home. Burnley, joint 3rd lowest scorers at home. Burnley, joint 4th best defensive record at home. And Turf Moor is the 3rd most boring stadium this season to watch football in the Premier League. Can you, Tom, in 10 seconds or less, name the other 2 more boring stadiums than Turf Moor this season?
Ooh. Goodison Park.
Nope.
St. Mary's.
Nope.
Carrow Road.
No. Right, that's it. Your guesses are up. Molineux and the Amex.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So once I read them out, it's pretty obvious. But you were on the right track. But basically, all that together ends with under 2.5, I think, at 1.65.
Okay. Cool. Right. Let's look at the next game then. Thank God there's more games at 3 o'clock than just that one. Man City against Leicester up next. 1.21 for City. Leicester 17.0 and the draw is 8.4. You'd think, unless you think different, I think Man City should definitely get a comfortable win here. Really starting to motor on this City. They've built like a nice little cushion at the top of the league following Chelsea and Liverpool drawing over the weekend. And yeah, I think Manchester City to win and both teams to score could be something that we see. City have been scoring plenty of goals, scored 7, as we mentioned, against Leeds. Last weekend scored 4 away at Newcastle, as you'd well expect. But Leicester, capable of scoring. They put 4 past Newcastle, 2 against Napoli in the Europa League. They've scored in every single game they've played since their Premier League defeat against Arsenal, which was 6 games ago. And I think the odds for that are pretty nice. So 2.62 for Man City to win and both teams to score. If you just fancy both teams to score, it's 2.1. So 2 fairly good prices there, and I think they'll both come in. I could see City winning 3-1, 4-1, something like that. Leicester's defence is a real worry against Man City. Real worry.
Yeah, I'm huge on obviously the price for City to win on the nose. It doesn't really entice me, and I understand why it's so short. They're just in another league at the moment. It was looking like it was going to be a 3-horse race for the title. It still might be, right? It still might be, but Chelsea really struggling at the moment. We'll get on to them shortly. Liverpool doing well, but just Man City just look like they're in another stratosphere at the moment. The options are, they're selling Ferran Torres in January, and it doesn't affect them one bit, really. It really doesn't affect them, and that's crazy because you're looking at a starting Spanish number 9 winger, whatever you're talking about. So, big on City. Both teams to score, maybe. I feel like City don't get that much credit. They do have the best defense in the league. I feel like defensively they don't get as much credit because obviously we want to talk about Foden, Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, all those guys. But they've been really tight this season. So I'm not as hot on it as you are. But I think if you're going to try and get any value from it, of course, that's the option to go down rather than City on the nose.
Cool. Okay, Norwich Arsenal then. Norwich 8.0 for the win. The draw 5.0 and Arsenal 1.46 favourites. Arsenal, I know you're pretty big on Arsenal this week. I completely agree. They've won 4 on the bounce. Norwich have lost 3 on the bounce, no wins in 5 now. Kind of Dean Smith's honeymoon period seems to have worn off. They've not scored a goal in the last 3 either. I like this Arsenal side. Young, vibrant, exciting at times, struggle against the bigger teams, but certainly against a team like Norwich, you'd expect them to get 3 points fairly easily. Do you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. I'm big on Arsenal. And I think Dean Smith, this is what happens if you go for your honeymoon in Norwich, I think. You have maybe one good day and then it's followed by disappointment. Arsenal, they've won 4 in a row. I think probably one of the best things about Arsenal right now is that their captain has been stripped to the captaincy, dropped, and no one's talking about it because Martinelli has come in and been even better than Aubameyang this season, and it's been absolutely seamless. And if you have a look at the goals, Tom, Pukki's got 5 this season. Their next top scorer is Grant Hanley with 1. Martinelli, Smith Rowe, Odegaard and Saka have scored 14 between them. And that's the starting 4 typically. Smith Rowe obviously in and out, but that's typically the starting 4. And they're absolutely miles ahead of, as you said, Tom, kind of the mid-table to bottom feeders. Arsenal are going to absolutely eat them up all season. We're still talking about a team in Norwich that have won 1 home game this season. They're going to be nowhere near Arsenal at the weekend. 1.46. I've seen worse prices.
Yep, agreed. Right. Next 3 o'clock game. I love Boxing Day. How many 3 o'clock games?
Yeah, it's class.
Brilliant.
It's a good throwback.
Best day for me of the Football League calendar, Boxing Day. It's a shame COVID's kind of messing it all up this year, but
yeah. Opening day, last game of the season. They're always good, but Boxing Day is special.
Yeah, it is. Okay, Spurs Palace, and this is an interesting one. Spurs are 1.8 for the win. The draw's 3.85. Palace are 5.0. And Spurs, as we saw last weekend against Liverpool, drawing 2-2. excellent result. Seem to be picking up some decent form now under Conte. They've not lost in the last 5 consecutive games. I get why they're 1.8, but there's always something about Palace which makes me think they can surprise. So I am hesitant to go for Spurs, even though their form is good and they're playing really good stuff under Conte. It's just there's a little niggly thing about Palace that kind of makes me worry. I know Palace beat Man City as well, didn't they, earlier in the season when nobody expected them to. So they've just got that thing about them, which means they could surprise. But yeah, I'm going to sit on the fence for this one and say no bet. But is there anything you fancy?
No, nothing, mate. I can't trust either of them. I'm still trying to work out if, I mean, Palace have won 1 away from home all season. So, but I don't think that's a fair reflection of how they've been doing. And I'm not ready to go against someone so wildly unpredictable. And yeah, Spurs, I'm just still working them out. I need a bit more time before I start backing them at short prices, to be honest with you. I'd rather go, I'm not saying this in any kind of North London rivalry at all, but I'd rather back Arsenal at the price they are than the price that you're getting with Tottenham at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, absolutely. Fair enough. West Ham Saints then, Southampton, 1.93 for West Ham to get the win, 3.8 for the draw, 4.3 for Southampton. Do you fancy either of these two to get the victory?
Yeah, West Ham, 1.9. This is not going to be easy. West Ham are not playing their best stuff. Southampton, they're the draw merchants in the league this season, 8 in 17. So this is not going to be straightforward for West Ham. But Southampton, on the flip side, haven't won their last 6. I think West Ham are too good to struggle for much longer. Antonio wasn't involved midweek against Tottenham. Maybe he'll be fit for the weekend. Jared Bowen played down the middle. He's not.
I think he's got COVID, mate. I think he's
he's definitely not playing then.
Yeah.
Well, even so, Bowen started down the chute midweek, got himself a goal. There's still enough in that West Ham team. Obviously, Antonio adds a lot, but there's still more than enough. And Southampton, joint 4th lowest scorers on the road this season, just 8 scored away from home. They love playing at St. Mary's. And yeah, West Ham 1.9. You can either keep going against them and thinking that their season's going to fizzle out, or you can kind of take my angle on this and think that they're too good to struggle for much longer. They'll turn it round, and Southampton at home is a really good opportunity to do so.
Yeah, definitely. Southampton's just 1 win away from home all season, so they do struggle away. I was looking at West Ham and I see that 3-2 win against Chelsea at home, the 3-2 win against Liverpool at home, 1-0 against Spurs. So they've knocked off some top sides at home this season. So you'd think they've got enough to beat Southampton, surely. But Villa Chelsea then rounds us up. Actually, no, it doesn't. There's a game at 8 o'clock. The 5:30 on Boxing Day is Villa Chelsea. 5.6 for Villa, 3.85 for the draw, and 1.74 for Chelsea. I'm not sure here. I don't trust Chelsea anymore. Absolutely do not trust them. Rumours that Tuchel could be coming under a little bit of pressure.
Bloody hell.
From the hierarchy I've seen. I don't know whether that's just nonsense on social media, but they've not been great recently, have they? They've lost a bit of ground in the league, but come on, it's just 2 draws. 1 win in the last 4. It's hardly a massive crisis, but yeah, I don't trust Chelsea at 1.74 to beat Villa.
No, neither do I, mate. I think if you dig even a little bit deeper, Chelsea's form, they've won 2 of their last 6. A 3-2 home win against Leeds, who everybody else is battering at the moment. So that doesn't exactly look great. And then they beat Watford, who I think are quite a bad team, actually, with just 1 or 2 players capable of good moments. So you take those away, that's no wins in 6. I know people will say, you can't take wins away. But what I'm trying to say is they are possibly through 2 of the 3 worst teams in the league at the moment, for a Newcastle in there. So yeah, Chelsea absolutely not backable at the moment. Villa clearly dangerous.
Yeah. Finally, then, Brighton against Brentford rounds off Boxing Day. This is the 8 o'clock game. Brighton are priced at 2.0, 3.35 for the draw, and 4.2 for Brentford. And I don't trust either of these. I'm not sure, to be honest, but I'll take a watching brief. But one thing that I would say that Brighton haven't won in 12 consecutive games, and Brentford could be decent as an outside bet at 4.2. The form that Brighton are on, which isn't great. They're stealing a few late goals recently to get draws. I just look at the 4.2 for Brentford, and I'm not tipping them to win, but I look at it and think, as an outsider, it's not a bad price. It wouldn't surprise me if they won.
Yeah, I'm with you. To be honest with you, I saw this game and didn't type out one letter of research because I looked at it, I clicked on the game, and it turned me off straight away. That absolutely, I've got no idea where this is going to land. But Tom, I take what you're saying. Brighton been really poor, similarly to Leeds. If there's an early goal, for Brentford or whatever, fans might start to get a bit disappointed. Remember, they did boo Graham Potter not long ago, and he did not like it. So
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. So maybe that might happen again.
Okay, Monday then, we've got one game on the 27th of December. Newcastle at home to Man United. 7.0 for Newcastle to get the win, 4.7 for the draw, and 1.52 for Manchester United. Surely Man U are going to win here. I'm quite comfortable backing anybody almost in the league against Newcastle at the moment, especially one of the top teams. Kind of revitalised a bit under Ralph Rangnick. 1.52 doesn't look too bad a price for Man United because they should get a comfortable win here.
Where do you want me to start? Do you want me to start with Newcastle, 1 win in 18? How can you back them? How can you possibly give me an argument to say that they're going to get anything from this game? I've also got a note here that asks, if you've ever played Football Manager and you've got a team that you really don't like and you just smash in spacebar to get to the January transfer window and the games are inconvenient to you. That's how I feel the Newcastle situation is right now. They just want to get to January, reassess, see if they can strengthen, and this game is inconvenient to them. Or I can read out the fact that they've got the worst defense in the league, 41 conceded. Tom, you keep talking about Leeds and how they've conceded 7, etc. Newcastle's defense is 5 worse than Leeds, who have lost 7-0 this season. Newcastle are a complete joke, and they're going to be playing in the Championship next season unless something drastically happens.
Yeah.
Rubbish.
Rubbish. Terrible. I love the analogy. Just smashing Spence ball. Get me to January.
Just get me to January.
On holiday for this game. And
I need Kieran Clark off the payroll now. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that rounds up the Premier League. Let's just take a moment to talk about our good sponsors at Matchbook.com.
Yeah, really want to thank Matchbook again for their continued support of the pod. We're absolutely loving working with them this season. And as Tom said at the top of the show, they've extended their offer. So it used to be a 15 quid money back as cash offer if your first bet lost. Now they've raised that up to 20. It's like a Christmas bonus almost. So yeah, there's a few terms and conditions. It's for new customers only. Obviously, just with the whole show, you have to be over 18, etc. So please check that out. You'll be supporting Matchbook, who have been great to us, and you'll be supporting the podcast, and you'll find yourself immersed in quite a quality experience. So I thoroughly recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely. So something else I thoroughly recommend is going for Nottingham Forest on the double chance on Boxing Day in their game against Middlesbrough. You like that one, Tom?
No.
Promotion season underway? Yes. HMS Pistol League has set sail for the Reds.
Maybe. Just not this weekend. I think
Yeah,
you're doing a massive disservice to
yeah,
what
but this is
Wilder's done at Borough so far.
yeah, but this is why I've gone for double chance, right? 1.7 for Forest or draw, as has been kind of I think well circulated, and we mentioned it last week. Forest are top of the Championship form table over the course of the last 16 games now. An excellent come from behind win against Hull last weekend. Steve Cooper just one loss in his 15 games in charge now. We're going great. We're in 7th, and I appreciate Chris Wilder's come into Middlesbrough, really kind of sorted them out, got them moving in the right direction as well. But this run that Forest are on, I think we're really on to something at the moment. We've really got some momentum, and that's why I don't think we're going to lose. And also our away form, we've got the 3rd best away record in the league. That's only worse than Bournemouth and Fulham by literally 3 points in the away league table. So we tend to travel better than we do play at home. So last time out away from home, put 4 past Swansea, which is an excellent result. I think, again, another outsider, Forest on the nose are a good price. They're a good price, but double chance, I could definitely see this one being a draw. Definitely could see it being a draw. So 1.7 for Forest or draw is where I'm going to go.
I can see draw. I'll give you that. I can see draw. 3-5-2 against 3-5-2 normally ends in quite a turgid kind of rubbish game, which normally ends in a draw. So
yeah,
I can see that. But Forest on the nose, you need to put that beer down, I think. Fulham. I'm back in Fulham this weekend. 1.42. 1.42. They are short, let's be honest. But it's wildly documented. It's absolutely all over every podcast and every Twitter account you can imagine, talking about how bad Fulham and Bournemouth have been recently. But Fulham, I think, besides Barnsley, Tom, Birmingham at home, I think is the match that everyone wants at the moment. They've been absolutely grim. They're showing zero signs of life, and until Chong is back, I'm not going anywhere near them to back them to win any match. Fulham have been poor, but they've only failed to win once in their last 6. Lots of draws in there, lots of fine margins. If you play this game 10 times, Fulham win it at least 8 or 9. At least. It's just going to take one little moment, one game. Fulham will click back into gear. I still think they're going to win the league. I don't see why Birmingham at home should give me a red flag, because it doesn't.
No, you think if this is a game where you're going to get back to winning ways, it's a fantastic one for Fulham, isn't it? If they didn't win this, I'll be getting really worried about them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, if they don't win this, especially if they lose, I'll be like, whoa, something's going on. But I'm happy to back him still.
Yeah, no, they should definitely get a win here. I think Blackburn away at Hull could turn out to be potentially price of the weekend, 2.4 for Blackburn to get the win. And like with Forest against Middlesbrough, I appreciate that Hull are on a decent run of form until they encountered Forest, of course, last weekend. But before that, they're on a really good run of form. But I just think it's crazy that I'm going to say that Blackburn are 3 points off top. Like, if you rewind a month or 6 weeks ago, and if I said to you then, in 4 weeks' time, we'd say that Blackburn are 3 points off top, you'd laugh me out the building. But yeah, they've had a really good run of form. No losses in 7 games, won 5 in a row, not conceded in either of those 5 wins either. So yeah, you got Big Ben banging them at the top. They're keeping it tight at the back. 2.4 away at Hull, who are okay, but this could be a case of levels, right? Blackburn are on fire right now. They've got the most informed striker in the league right now in Brereton Diaz. So 2.4 looks like a really good price to me for Blackburn to get another win.
Yeah, I also think that's potentially price of the weekend. It's going to make my next tip look even worse because it's priced at 1.2.
Oh, bloody hell.
It's
Is this a tip? Is this a tip at 1.2?
kind of. It's Derby West Brom under 2.5. So you can see how Matchbook feel like this game is going to go. West Brom are absolutely fine until the final third, and they just can't score. Hugo is becoming like somewhat of a joke. Like he's getting booed by his own fans. He's getting laughed at by his own fans. And, you know, Grant is being playing out wide. Robinson can't play down the middle. The goals are just not going in. And forget points deductions, forget all that stuff. Derby have still played the same amount of games as everyone else. And they've got the second worst attack in the league. I don't think they're the second worst team, but they've got the second worst attack. They're relying on kids or the return of someone like Sam Baldock, who is just not good enough at this level anymore. And just the cherry on top of that, Tom, did you know West Brom have the best defence in the Championship this season?
No.
They've conceded just 17. They got the best record in the league defensively, which I didn't know until about 3 hours ago.
No.
But yeah, this all points towards under 2.5. And yeah, it's priced at 1.2.
Wow. 1.2.
1.2. That's what Matchbook and the rest of the bookies that we shall not name feel about this game. And I totally agree.
Okay. I've got one more for the champ. Sheffield United on the double chance. So loving the double chance here, aren't we? 1.36. Again, not the biggest price in the world, but for Sheffield United to at least draw away at Preston, I think it's something which we can get. And I appreciate Ryan Lowe has come into Preston, won his first game in charge, could potentially be a little bit of a new manager bounce going on there. But the bounce, speak about new manager bounce, Paul Heckingbottom is like on a bloody trampoline. They've had 4 wins in the last 5 since he took over, including that really good 1-0 away at Fulham at the weekend or Monday night, whenever it was. So yeah, for that reason alone, for their strong form, more so than anything Preston's side, I think Sheffield United can at least get a draw because confidence is very high there at the moment with their recent results.
All I can visualise is Paul Heckingbottom, Morgan Gibbs-White and Billy Sharp on a trampoline. just having a cracking time.
I love it.
But yeah, I'm totally with you, mate. Looked at that game, almost went for Sheffield United on the nose. I agree with you regarding Ryan Lowe. I think, yeah, sure, like feel-good factor, blah, 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 whatever. I think Sheffield United are looking too good for average at best Preston team.
Just throwing out an outside treble now, right? Just off the top of my head.
Ooh.
Blackburn at 2.4, Forest at 3.95, and Sheffield United at 2.44.
Well,
Three of the informed teams in the Championship, all away from home, all big prices.
All tough games. I'll be the devil's advocate and say all tough games, but I get what you're saying. Worth a $5, maybe?
Worth even £2. That'll get you some good, decent back off a couple of quid.
Love it.
But
Boxing Day, fun day.
Exactly. Any more from League? Not even League One, is it? Championship for
you? No. You have segued nicely though into League One. Excellent. I want to talk about my boys Rotherham. 1.7 last week for people that listen or watch now regularly. You will know that I said I don't care where Rotherham play, whether they're home or away, who they're playing against, what their form is. I'm not bothered. I'm back in Rotherham. So I can't then 1 week later say that I don't fancy them away at Accrington Stanley. It's similar to the kind of the Blackburn game, Tom. Stanley are dangerous and they can beat Rotherham. Cambridge last week pushed Rotherham all the way and only lost to like a really nice counter-attack goal for a win for the Millers. Stanley are so, Tom, I was doing my research. They are mid-table on every metric I can find. home record, away
Doesn't
record,
surprise me.
goals scored, goals conceded. And this shows to me that they are basically a coin flip team.
Yeah.
So I've got a coin flip team on one side and by far and away the best League One team on the other. So I'm going to back that Stanley don't guess the coin toss correct and Rotherham go there and get a comfortable win. But, you know, Stanley do win the toss and they do turn up. Then it might be a draw or maybe even a Stanley win. They're wildly unpredictable. But I know Rotherham are nicely predictable. And I know even on a bad day, they're going to give me a 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely see that one. Definitely. I feel like now, you know, you have in League Two, you look for Forest Green Rovers. Now in League One, you look for Rotherham. Where are they? Tip them.
Boom.
Right, another team for me at the top of League One who should get a comfortable win this weekend. Wigan away at Crewe. Wigan are priced at 1.58. Pretty decent price, I think, considering Wigan in second. Crewe propping up the league. They're in 24th. Wigan have won 7 of the last 8 away league games. They drew the other one away at Cambridge. They scored at least 2 goals in all of those away games as well. So scored at least 2 in the last 8 away league games. Certainly can't see them conceding 2 or more against bottom of the league Crewe if they keep up that trend. No losses in 12 games overall across all competitions for Wigan either. So lots of favourable stats here for Wigan. Not a bad price considering at 1.58 they should get a comfortable win here. I could see a 2-0, 3-0, something like that.
Yeah, very comfortable. Kind of leaps off the page, doesn't it,
Yeah.
when you're picking your selections. I feel for Crewe, but we're not in the business for feeling sorry for teams, Tom. We're here to back winners. I am looking to back a winner at 2.44. So that makes up for my 1.2. We're looking at Fleetwood. Fleetwood at home against Shrewsbury. So this is about Shrewsbury. This isn't not as much about Fleetwood, who are your kind of standard between bottom and mid-table kind of team. They've got a couple of relegation fears, but they shouldn't really go down. And since Stephen Craney came in, they've done really well. And they're playing against a Shrewsbury side with the second worst record on the road in the league. They have yielded 2 points all season. That's it. 2 points. Shocking. And then, so I was already sold on that. And then I was looking at their recent results. They lost 1-0 away at Doncaster Rovers 2 games ago. That rubber stamp, wax sealed the tip for me. Like, if they can go away and lose against Doncaster, they can go away and lose to Fleetwood quite comfortably. As I said, Fleetwood, 2 wins in the last 3 under Craney, unbeaten in 4 of the last 6. Are Fleetwood the best team in the league? No. Are Shrewsbury the worst team away in the league? Almost.
Yeah, definitely. I like it. So any more from League One for you, or shall we move to League Two?
League Two, and I'll be honest with you, I've only got 1. So I don't know if you want to kick us off and sandwich me in the middle.
I've got 1. So let's hope it's not the same one. Well, COVID for one has
that's true.
Ripped through this league. Out of the 12 games you'd usually expect, we've got 6 left. I like Mansfield. Who do you like?
Mansfield.
Great. Okay.
Go on, take it away.
Mansfield are priced at 1.98 to get a win at home to Hartlepool. They've got 4 wins on the bounce. They've kind of moved up the league really nicely after a kind of tough August, September, October. Since then, November time, they've really started to move up the places. 4 wins on the bounce, 8 wins in the last 9 across all competitions. And I just think the form they're on, their upwards trajectory that they're on, they're going to have too much for a Hartlepool side who have generally struggled, particularly away from home. Hartlepool have lost 5 of the last 6 away games. Any more you want to add to this?
Oh, yeah.
I'm running dry.
Oh, yeah. Hartlepool, Tom, you can go a lot further when you're talking about their away record. It's the worst in the league.
Well, there we go.
They're bottom. 4 points from 10 games. The Stags have won their last 5 at home in a row. Mansfield third in the last 8 games league table. And yeah, it's looking like Mansfield will be able to lean on that home form against Hartlepool's horrific away form. But I just wanted to add one thing in, Tom. Did you know Hartlepool have the worst away record in the league and the best home record in the league? Talk about Jekyll and Hyde. Bloody hell.
I didn't realise they had the best home record.
Best home record in the league. Forget Forest Green, forget Exeter, whoever you want. Hartlepool are top and bottom of the away. So if they could find some kind of away form, they're going to be in the playoff picture for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but on the road, they're struggling in Mansfield. Field Mill, as I used to know it, 5 home wins in a row. So should be a good stag party on Boxing Day.
Really funny.
Lads.
Okay, then. Well, that wraps up all of the tips for this weekend. So let's recap last week's bomb-proof trebles, shall we? And give you this week's bomb-proof trebles.
Yeah, well, mine was a bomb-proof double. So the Villa-Burnley game that I picked was postponed. I had the Friday night game. I got shouted at on Twitter by multiple accounts. I did pick West Brom away at Barnsley, and turns out shouldn't have done it because West Brom drew 0-0. So my bet was done before it even made Saturday. I did pick Blackburn to beat Birmingham. They won 4-0. So I give myself maybe 1% credit for that tip. But yeah, the West Brom one wasn't great. And similar story with you, really, Tom.
Yeah, mine was more of a bomb-proof disaster than a bomb-proof. I had Forest to beat Hull. They did so 2-1. I also had Charlton on the double chance away at Plymouth. Charlton gave Johnny Jackson the job before this game, and he subsequently went and lost. So thanks for that one, Johnny. And then finally, Newport and Rochdale had that both teams to score in League Two, and Rochdale won 2-0.
Yeah, so not the best, but we're hoping to put some cash back in your pocket after Christmas. Nice little boost. So yeah, if you're new to the show, this is where me and Tom are for this week. We really want to hammer home the gamble responsibly message, especially after Christmas. You know, funds are tight for a lot of people. It doesn't matter if you put a quid on, 50p, 20p. It's gambling supposed to be fun. So please, let's keep it that way. Stick within your limits. Me and Tom will read out our tips based on £10 stakes. We're in a fortunate position where we can afford to lose £10 a week. But yeah, we want you guys to stay within your limits and gamble responsibly. So Tom, I will let you go first, my friend, with your treble if you would like.
Yeah, so my treble this weekend, we're going to start with possible price of the weekend in Blackburn, away at Hull, priced at 2.14. Forest on the double chance against Middlesbrough, they're priced at 1.7. And finally, Wigan away at Crewe, priced at 1.58. And £10 example stake on that pays 64.46.
Lovely. Obviously, the Forest game is the one that scares me somewhat, and the Blackburn game, for some reason, is obviously the one that's bringing home the returns. So yeah, a little bit of an odd treble there, Tom, but I'm pretty confident. I think Forest can get a draw, and then Blackburn and Wigan, I'm pretty confident we'll be able to get wins. So good luck.
Thank you.
For myself, we'll start off in the Premier League. We're going to go for Arsenal. They're away at Norwich City. They're priced at 1.46. Then we're going to drop into League One. We're going to take Fleetwood at home, Shrewsbury Town, 2.44. And then we're going to round it off with a stag party, Mansfield at home against Hartlepool, 1.98 for the Yellows, the returns, 70.54.
Yeah, that's nice. I think that treble is probably better than my treble, and it pays more.
Possibly. Yeah, the Fleetwood
like
price
it.
is pretty big, 2.44. I don't know if the fact that Fleetwood aren't actually that good comes into it, but Shrewsbury are rubbish. So
Yeah, I like it. It's a good treble. So hopefully we'll win at least one, maybe even fingers crossed we can get the double Boxing Day special. But yeah, let's hope. So good luck to anybody who does decide to back those trebles or any kind of combination of them, or any of the tips that you've taken from the show. Shall I have a quick look at fantasy football? This has become a disaster. It was a disaster anyway, actually.
it's a complete and utter mess.
Now it's even more of a mess because of COVID.
Yeah.
Let me have a look at who's doing well here.
All I know is I got a notification the other day to say that I got a green arrow. So I was honestly absolutely buzzing because
First time you've seen that all season.
Yeah, they honestly come around as much as Christmas, to be honest with you. So
right.
Yeah, I was pretty happy.
We have a new leader at the top of the league.
Ooh.
So going from 10 to 1, we have got Warren Torch at 10, followed by Bob Bailey, David Brown, Nathan Brunskill, Oliver Hogburn, Ahab Pequod, Chris Hindle, Luke Stevens, Chantel Crookshanks, and Sam Barnard with Keen's Diamond Chef is top of the league now. So congratulations, Sam. You are Christmas
number one.
Christmas number one. Yeah, Christmas number one. That's loads better.
Yeah, Christmas number one. A little music cross reference there. But yeah, if you want to join our fantasy league, you can get the code from myself on Twitter, T_FB podcast. Please give us a follow, number one. And number two, if you want the league code, send us a DM. You'll join at your rightful position. And yeah, just to reiterate, for anyone that wants to follow us on Twitter, T_FB podcast. Final little plug for the Twitter account. It's going to be a quick turnaround for the games kind of sandwiched between Boxing Day and New Year's Day. We are not going to be doing a podcast, but we will be putting out Twitter tips. So the only way to get our tips for those games will be to go onto our Twitter page. So T_FB podcast.
Yeah, and if you have enjoyed the show, guys, we'd really appreciate it if you could leave us a rating or review wherever you listen to your podcasts. Do you know, Tom, we've not had a review on the UK Apple Podcasts since 17th of March.
Bloody hell. There must be one person still listening at the end that feels sorry for us and decides that they're going to spend 10 seconds giving us 5 stars. Surely one person.
Yeah, make our Christmas.
Please. We're begging you.
So please do take the time to rate and review if you have enjoyed the pod. And lastly, thanks again to our sponsors at matchbook.com. Take advantage of the improved money back as cash £20 sign up offer using the code TFB podcast at the registration stage.
We will see you or speak to you next year.
Wow. Yes, we will. So have a great Christmas, everybody. Please do get in touch as you always do with the bets you've got on for Boxing Day. We want to see your bet slips, pre-match, your winners, etc., etc. So yeah, have a great Christmas, a happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2022.